Okay, so a lot of people know about the Netflix live action series that premiered back on, I believe it was December 14th. And yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of mixed reactions in relation to what we got in terms of, I guess, how the stories were handled and how long each episode were. We had gotten a total of like 5 episodes, and they were each like, 54, 55 minutes in length. And honestly, I feel like I feel like it was better than I expected in the sense where the looks of each character was down to a T for the most part. And I feel like the actors did a good job in capturing the personality of each of the characters. And and as far as that's concerned, I feel like those are like the strong points of the Yu Yu Hakusho Netflix series. And as far as the actual story is concerned, that's something that a lot of people have had mixed feelings about. And the reason I say that is because basically in the Yu Yu Hakusho Netflix series, um, the writers and the director managed to take two arcs and pretty much combine them into one. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about the Yukino rescue arc and the Dark Tournament arc. And there were some people who were kind of upset about that because the Dark Tournament arc is probably the most, iconic arc in the entire series. And it seemed like everything was kind of thrown together, and at this point, the possibility of a season 2 or even an episode 6 of the Yu Yu Hakusho live action series is basically, it's up in the air. I mean, it seems very unlikely to happen because I know they tried to get through um the two arcs as fast as they could. So like pacing was, kind of the thing, and they didn't want to drag it out too long to a point where people would eventually get sick of it. But honestly, I do feel that if both those arcs were kept separate, it would have been much better, and they would have had like a season 2 to go by. But at the same time, there's always that possibility that the series probably wouldn't, like, get renewed for a season 2. And that's probably like the biggest thing about combining the Dark Tournament with the Yukino Rescue arc, is that they want to just like get as much out within within the 5 episodes as they possibly could, because the Dark Tournament arc is obviously more popular. And the thing is, the Dark Tournament arc came after like the 26th episode of the anime of Yu Yu Hakusho that premiered back in 1992. So my guess was that the Dark Tournament arc was like season 2. And obviously, if people weren't they didn't like the Yukina rescue arc, and for whatever reason it didn't get renewed, then there was going to be a Dark Tournament arc, and that's what people want to see. So I guess that the director wanted to get as much out as they possibly could, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, I do feel that the personalities and the looks and all that stuff were spot on. Some people would probably claim like the looks of the characters being too close to that of the actual um anime series, and some people would say the actors kind of look like cosplayers or whatever. But it's whatever. I mean, it's easy to kind of suspend your belief when you're watching this and pretend like you're watching the anime. But at the same time, I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho is just one of those, it's one of those franchises that's just better off as an anime than a live action series. In fact, I was kind of questioning how it was going to look before I watched it. And I don't know, I feel like it was a perfect blend of both fantasy and reality. And I think Kuwamara and Haye's personalities in this were perfect, and the actors portraying both of those characters, they did a pretty good job. Um, I do feel that Urameshi, him being a delinquent and all that stuff. Um, I don't know. It's just, I feel like this version of Urameshi is more. I don't know, it's more, realistic and down to earth, and I kind of feel like it kind of um captures like the vibe of a modern day like delinquent like teenager or what have you. So I do feel that like for a live action like film, I do feel that the Yu Yu Hakusho you know live action series on Netflix was something that it exceeded my initial expectations, but at the same time, um, combining two arcs into one was something that kind of hurt the quality of the series itself. And a part of me is just glad that this actually happened, that we got a live action film adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho, because Yu Yu Hakusho for the most part has been irrelevant for God knows how long. And it didn't necessarily become as popular in the 90s as like Dragon Ball Z or anything like that, but it was also like one of those animes that like had a cult following. And I do feel like it was one of those animes that didn't get the type of exposure in America that it deserves, because I can rarely remember seeing any high profile Yu Yu Hakusho video games in America during the 90s or even the 2000s for that matter. And and I do feel that, Yu Yu Hakusho get in its own live action series is something that's pretty cool. As far as a season 2 or an episode 6 is concerned, um I honestly don't think that the writers or director, anticipated possibly, doing that or creating another episode or coming up with another season or anything like that. Cause they probably figured that, this might not get renewed on Netflix because like you have like other video game type TV series like on Netflix that kind of like has that same problem, because like I don't think Scott Pilgrim Takes Off got renewed for a second season. And I'm not too sure about Tekken Bloodline. I heard rumors of it having a second season, but I'm not exactly sure whether or not it's going to happen. But yeah, I kind of understand why the live action series was done the way it was. Um, but unfortunately, I don't think it was done the way it should have been done. But regardless, I do feel that the Yu Yu Hakusho live action series was something that it exceeded my expectations, but at the same time, it's something that it could have been done slightly better. It probably could have been a little bit longer. The formatting could have been different, where each episode could have been broken down to 20 something minutes, opposed to each episode being like 54, 55 minutes or what have you. But it is what it is. Overall, the Yu Yu Hakusho live action series on Netflix is okay. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say that it's passable, um, because the writers tried to do whatever they could, and they basically took 2 seasons and condensed it into like 5 episodes, which I'm pretty sure was very time consuming and difficult at the same time. And I feel like that's something that definitely deserves credit overall.